Hey, it's session 4. We're talking about rest this week. That means I'm almost tempted to take a nap right now and just go and get it going. But listen, we're in San Gabriel. We're in a beautiful home with kids, with couples. We're talking about rest, probably one of the least observed out of all of them. So we're gonna talk about why. We're gonna talk about how to do it. The little kids right there. Come here, you little crazy kids. Oh, they didn't know I was here. I'm sorry, the black man in the front yard didn't scare the little children. Lord have mercy. They didn't call the police, the bird, a helicopter. Lord, come out and come and get me. No, I think it's good. Hey, sweetie, how you, mom? Is mommy home? Come on in. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be good. Whoa, maybe not. Hello. Welcome to session 4. We are so excited to be here. Are y'all excited to be here, y'all? Well, let's give it up. We're in session 4. So excited. Listen, we've got a special couples group, and we got a little baby in the room, Delaney. So we're gonna try to be quiet. Well, not really, but we're gonna work it out. It's gonna be fun. So this is a great couples life group. Been meeting for I don't know, how long y'all been meeting, Michael?
Couple of years.
Been meeting a couple of years, fellowship. They got the kids in the room. We did had some time with them, so it's gonna be fun. So we've been having a great time getting to know each other. We hope that you're having a great time getting to know each other. Week 4, I hope that the Lord's meeting you in your groups. I hope that you're starting to open up God's word and that God is meeting you as we walk through the 10 commandments, a love letter written in stone. It's God's heart coming alive for his children as he teaches us how to love him back and how to love him well. This week, we come to commandment number 4, remembering the Sabbath and keeping it holy. But before we get there, I got a question for the group. All right. Tell me about a time, everybody got cell phones, right? Have you ever been somewhere and your cell phone charge is about to go out? And you're out and about and don't know how you, do y'all know what I'm talking about, that panic when you don't have much juice left on your phone? What's the craziest thing? Have you ever tried to do anything crazy to recharge your phone because you were stuck in anything? Have y'all ever, any cell phone charger crisis stories?
This just happened last week. I was requesting an Uber ride.
Oh.
It had 2%.
Oh, man.
And was in the middle of nowhere, so it was going to take them a while to get to me. And it died while they were en route.
Oh,
and
wow.
I was stuck.
Wow.
Literally, I had to walk out of the neighborhood to go get a charge.
How did you find the charge? What did you do?
I had to walk to Starbucks, which was like a mile.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, man. Anybody else who's ever had a cell phone crisis? Can y'all imagine in our lifetime, we didn't grow up with cell phones. So the reality of always having to have them and keeping them charged is like a real thing. And once you get down to those last 5%, it's like life or death. You like a crackhead walking around saying, "Hey, can I get a charge?" Like you walking around it is a legit crisis. Anybody else got a cell phone story? Who else got a cell phone story? Carlos.
Yeah, so it's having my kids with me all the time in the car. It's the worst part when your phone's about to die.
Yeah.
And they want to borrow your cell phone.
Yeah.
And you're I'm look, mommy's gonna come out of work in a minute. I just need that minute. Daddy, give me the phone. And I give it to him just for a second and it dies.
Yeah.
And I can't get a hold of her. So it's the worst.
It's crisis. It's almost like you go in slow motion. They grab the phone planning at me. You no. The battery just go down, man. It's because you're just stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good. But Brandon, you got a cell phone story?
No, because I have a portable charger that I keep around everywhere.
Oh, look at you, Mr. Prepared. Mr. Guy, I'm walking around prepared. Armida, this is what you got to live with, huh? He's just ready all the time. Good. I think Brandon is onto something. He talks about having a portable charger and always being ready. When we think about the 4th commandment, you think about the crisis that comes about when your cell phone goes dead. If a cell phone needs to be charged, every 24 hours? How long before you need to recharge? How long before you run out of juice? And when you run out of juice, when you run out of energy, when you run out of that charge, think about all the implications of having a dead cell phone. Think about all the implications of having a worn out mom or dad. or a husband or wife that hasn't been recharged on a regular basis. Think about a God who has children, who has worshipers who refuse to recharge. That's what the fourth commandment is all about. He says to the children of Israel, as he's saying, this is how I love you. You know that they were slaves. I'll read it. He says, remember the Sabbath day, Exodus 20, verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but on the seventh day is a Sabbath day to the Lord your God. The children of Israel were slaves in Egypt. And in Egypt, under the oppression of Pharaoh, they worked all day, every day. They worked sun up, sun down. They worked. Every day they worked because they were slaves, and that's what you did. Then God comes in through Moses, and he intervenes, and he opens up, he splits the sea wide open, and they walk out on dry land. And here they are. God is saying, see that I've brought you out on eagle's wings. I've brought you out of the hand of Egypt. But notice, they're still working. He grabs them in this commandment and he says, you're no longer slaves. Work 6 days, but on the seventh day, you stop. You stop and you reflect to remember, oh yeah, we've been set free. Oh yeah, God has made a way for us. Oh yeah, God has opened up a new door. Oh yeah, we're not in Pharaoh's territory anymore. You ask the question, is it still relevant today? Yeah, it's very relevant today because many of us are still living like slaves. And we work and we work and we work. And God is saying, take 6 days and give it all you got. Put it in this, work, prepare, but create seventh day and keep it holy. Holy, keep it separate, keep it different, keep it unique. There are 3 things that the Sabbath should look like. The Sabbath should be different. The Sabbath should be devotional, and the Sabbath should be delightful. He says, remember the Sabbath. Take a day off and make it different than the other days. Work 6 days and do your thing. In America, we got a 2-day weekend, so you got 2 days off, most of us in our jobs. He says, take 6 days and it can look the same, but take a 7th day and it should look different. It should be separate. It should be holy. It should be set aside. It should be sanctified. It should be put aside so that God might receive honor. So it should look different, but it should also entail some devotion. Taking some time to reflect and remember that this is your Father's world. You are no longer a slave to Pharaoh. Remembering that the rest that Jesus Christ has invited you in and given you the privilege to be able to rest in because of the power of the gospel. Every now and then, we just got to be reminded that we are free. We are no longer slaves. Sometimes you got to be reminded that the world keeps moving when you don't. Sometimes you got to stop and say, if I sleep in this morning, the world will sleep moving. I know people are like, well, my kid's going to be moving. It's the idea, and we'll get to the practical part, and that's the part we'll talk about, but it's this idea that you work for 6, but on the 7th, take some time to have some devotion to God and remember that He is God, He is on the throne, and you're not God, and you're not on the throne. Not only should it be devotional, but it should be delightful. You should do something fun. You should do something you enjoy. You should do something that brings you joy, whether it's playing golf, whether it's playing with the kids, doing something intentional with other families. There should be some sense of delight. Now, the other problem with this command is that it implies something. It assumes something. It assumes that you're working. See, it can become a generational thing. Younger people hear this and they think, yeah, I want a Sabbath. As a matter of fact, I want a Sabbath 6 days a week and I want to work 1. No. It implies that you're working. So some of us need to hear this call to work. Then others, you'll work all day. You find your identity in your work. You find life in your work. All you do is work. And you need to know what it is to stop. I don't work for Pharaoh. I worship my God, and I need to rest. I need to consecrate a day and give a day to Him. It's this idea of different, of devotion, of delight. What do y'all think about that? I know what the baby thinks. She's excited. She loves it. But hey, this is Life Group. This is how it happens. I got so many people. This is the most quiet room I've been in all week, man. I always have kids screaming. So let the baby cry. We're gonna have a conversation. What do y'all think about that when y'all hear that? Like 21st century with kids, with it. How do you pull that off? What does that look like? And is it worth fighting for?
You know, growing up, I thought it was gonna be, oh man, it's one thing when you're a kid and you see parents handling their kids, you think, man, I'm gonna do things better. And once you have your own kids, it's hard, man. But I like what you said about just enjoying that time.
Delighting, yeah.
And I think that's something I can do on my Sabbath. I can enjoy my kids rather than feel tired, and it could be like a Saturday, and I'll tell Debbie, hey, let's get the kids and let's go to Chuck E. Cheese or something. But I delight in that, to see them just have fun. So
Yeah.
Bobby, what about you guys? How do y'all spell fun? How do you spell Sabbath and delight?
Well, honestly, up until you did a sermon a few months ago about the Sabbath, it was just kind of whatever for me. It was a lot of my identity had become, let's just work, and I was doing a good 7 days a week for years, multiple years, and it really bothered my wife. And after I heard your sermon, I was like, you know what, you're right. We need to do something about that. So for us, it's kind of just become, okay, I'm not going to grind today. Today, I'm gonna try to be present, and not distracted as I often am, and be with the team today, whatever that looks like. Whether it's Chuck E. Cheese or whether it's just sitting down and doing nothing. So that's the goal, man.
Oh, that's huge. That's huge. And how's that been for you, Jen?
Well, I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I get a lot of downtime for myself. And I think that's some of the problem, because it just kind of all blends together. So there really isn't a Sabbath day. It's just all together, and I'm just mom 24/7, and I don't take that time. But it was difficult when he was gone. It was just like I was being like a single mom. I was just juggling everything and just going, and I knew he needed to work for me not to work. And so it was,
How's it been with this new rhythm with him?
It's been great. I appreciate it so much more, even if we just get one day. So it's
That's so good. That's so good. That's so good. What about you, Armida?
So I used to teach at night. So when Cooper was an infant, so after my maternity leave, I went back to work, and Brandon has been like a stay-at-home dad at night by himself for like 2.5 years. And so I had to give up that night, teaching. Even though I love it, I know that my family time is important. And then Cooper starts to notice that time that he was like, where's mommy? And now I appreciate being at home at night now. And I just took on just morning schedule, like teaching, even though I love teaching at night and, students that I work with. But like Cooper started to ask, like, where's mommy? So now we can pray together as a family at night. So that's very important for us. Yeah.
I think it reminds me that these are laws, but they're also these calls to love. Like it's this love letter that he's giving us, and he's saying, if you don't recharge, if you think a phone goes dead, what do you think happens to you? What do you think happens to your marriage? What do you think happens to your kids? I think he's saying this commandment is serious. It's not a suggestion, it's a commandment, and there's a reason why. Sometimes I fear that in America, and with so many hopes and dreams and desiring to give our kids and our families so much, or coming out of college and wanting to take over the world, we have so much ambition that it causes us to miss his mission. And we become enslaved all over again. Instead of Pharaoh this time, it's to work. And we work and we work and we work, and we miss those moments of devotion and of delight. I think he's saying, remember the Sabbath, because you need it way more than you think. And if not, you may find yourself somewhere desperately looking for a charge because you refuse to consistently charge your batteries by resting on the Sabbath day. God is saying, on the seventh day, I want to pull you away and I want to meet you and I want to connect with you in an intimate way that was different from Wednesday, that was different from Tuesday, that was different from the other days. I want to intimately connect with you in a new and different way. I guess I'm saying many of us, Jesus is waiting for a secret, intimate rendezvous, and we just pass by and we leave him sitting there waiting to meet us. Remember the Sabbath. Keep it holy. We're going to keep talking about it here. I feel the guilt in the room. I can just feel Michael just about to cry right now. So we're going to get him some tissue. You keep the conversation going in your living room as we talk about remembering the Sabbath and keeping it holy. Let's give it up, guys. Thank you guys so much.